Yes. Is there sound now?
There is sound reflecting on the screen.
Rotation. Anybody? Can you guys just give us an indication of whether you have sound? We have new technicians in the studio.
The sound is on. The sound is on. Yes. The sound is on.
JJHK says no audio.
Yes. Okay, there's sound now.
There's sound now.
JJH, moenie stories praat hierso nie. Yeah, the sound is on. Yes, sound. Doris D. So what are you saying? Yes, sound. Does it mean that there's sound?
There's sound.
Oh, okay. Okay, Rose says the sound is on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody.
Moro moro.
Welcome to the Morning Mix. It's once again such a pleasure to welcome you guys to the show. It's okay. So, is it Eka? Oh, it was me whose sound is on. It's such a pleasure to welcome you all to the show, to the stream this morning again. Kaufi,
Good morning.
I hope you had a blessed weekend.
Yes, I did.
And Jay,
Man, ek het 'n baie slegte weekend gehad.
hoe's dit?
Ek was by die magistraat.
As jy by die
Maintenance geld.
Is dit?
Die mense soek hulle se geld.
Daar
Hulle
sê
geld.
jy sal betaal. Pap geld. I hope you're in the news this morning. Kaufi, I hope that you basically slotted that into the news this morning of Mitch who needs to pay maintenance fees.
Ek en Kaufi.
Asseblief.
Romante News. Romante News. Romante News. Firm but fair.
This is Informate Live, and these are our top stories. The Ministry of Mines and Energy has confirmed that an earthquake with a magnitude of 4.3 was recorded 10 kilometers northeast of Kamanyap. Deputy Executive Director of the Geological Survey, Gloria Simubali, said that the event was recorded by 6 seismic stations of the Namibian Seismology Network, namely Windhoek, Kamanyap, Opuwo, Karibib, Aus, and Gubabas. The earthquake was shallow at the depth of less than 15 kilometers, and 4 aftershocks were recorded after the main event, with local magnitude ranging from 2.6 to 3.7 in the same areas. The decision of the High Court to grant citizenship to Yona, a son of a Namibian citizen, Philip Lul, who was born via surrogacy in March 2019, will be challenged after the Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security approached the Supreme Court to have the judgment overruled. Yona's South African birth certificate listed Lul and his Mexican husband, Guillermo Delgado, as his parents, which Namibian authorities refused to accept in his absence of a DNA test proving that the 2-year-old is a blood relative of the Namibian parent. And finally, the Namibian police has thrown out a dragnet across the country to rearrest the 61-year-old Walter Royers Mostert, who escaped from lawful custody on Friday evening. Mostert, a former magistrate of Gubabas, became a fugitive from justice when he fled to South Africa, was arrested at the beginning of May this year when the police were tipped off by a resident of Keetmanshoop about his presence in Namibia. The former magistrate is facing 29 charges of corruption, fraud, extortion, money laundering, theft contraventions of the Immigration Act, and defeating the course of justice. The former magistrate managed to escape from lawful custody while he was under police guard in a Windhoek hospital. Your Trustco share price today, the 11th of November, is at $2.22 per share. Taking a brief look at the financial indicators, the Namibia dollar is trading against the US dollar at 15 Namibia dollars and 10 cents, against the euro at 17 Namibia dollars and 40 cents, and against the British pound at 20 Namibia dollars and 40 cents. This is Informate Live, and these were our top stories. You can find more on our website, which is informate.web.na.
You sounded so
You must press the
disappointed.
button after the news.
I know, I'm doing it deliberately.
Wat?
Is jy klaar met jou nuus?
Ek is ook klaar met die nuus, but we are looking for Mr. Mostert.
Jy klink so disappointed as jy toe jy die storie
Ek
gelees het
weet,
van Mostert.
I'm disappointed in the police. How can we not look after our detainees?
Royce is this big. As 'n groot stuk boer.
Yeah, it's not as if he'd vanished in thin air.
They can't find Royce.
Yes.
He escaped from police custody.
Did he do it the same as they did it in Alcatraz? You know, where they went through that little hikey in the hospital? Maybe he took the spoon and, like Clint Eastwood did.
In 30 seconds.
Ja, en dan krap hy daar 'n gat vir hom oop en dan gryp, rape and escape.
Romante News. Romante News. Romante
A yellow mustard.
but fair.
'n hele monster.
Is weg.
'n hele rooies is weg.
Is a yellow stuk rooies is
Korrotjie.
Ish.
You talk about, and this would obviously lead us to we do it the other way around. So you talk about there was an earthquake in the Kamanyap area?
Ja, Kamanyap, but we've had earthquakes in the Kamanyap areas before. Ja, ons het al redelik 'n paar aardbewings daar gehad.
I didn't catch it.
4.3.
Oh, 4.3 on the Richter
4.3,
scale.
15 kilometers down.
15. You.
That's why the people living in Kamanyap, that's why they win the dance competitions always. Because they shake, rattle and roll.
Okay, we're just happy to hear that nobody has been injured or there are no injuries. And I mean, if we have to listen to some of the global earthquakes, what people are actually experiencing in countries like New Zealand and Iran, and
I'm just happy we have earthquakes. That's cool. I'm cool with that. I'm just happy we have, like, I
At
want to
least-
experience that type of stuff. It's fun.
I felt one. I think probably 3 years ago
Right.
in Elisenheim. I can't know. It was probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. It sounds and feels like a freight train.
Yes. Yeah.
Mary, don't you want to, like, experience one, like, just one earthquake, just in it?
Why would I want to do that?
Want
But
it
you're
just
not
be an
full.
experience?
No,
Yeah.
it's not an experience I need in my
Develing.
life.
A twister, you know this hurricanes and with a twister, with the, like,
I think
Diamonds
they
and
feel
alien.
American movies too.
net om ene the experience ala.
You're gonna ask me about apocalypse right now. Lost I hope.
Coffee. On that note, we want to know what the weather says before we go to the coronavirus.
Okay, so the weather forecast for today. The interior is sunny and hot in the west and the Hardap region, otherwise partly cloudy and hot with a few showers in the Karas region and a few thunder showers in the north and east. Fresh to strong southerly winds are expected over the interior. At the coast, partly cloudy and cool with a few showers in the south. So rain at the coast with a wind moderate to fresh southwesterly. Looking at the maximum temperatures for today, in Windhoek today 30, going over to the coast, Walvis Bay 24 with Swakopmund 22. Going to the north of the country, in Omuthia today 33, Ondangwa 32 with Oshakati also 32. Over to Zambezi, Katima Mulilo today, 37, coming down to Ochivarongo at 30 degrees, and Riobot today also 30. Then in Marienthal, 22, in Keetmanshoop, 25. So way cooler down in Keetmanshoop today. And then going over to the east of the country, in Gobabis, 29 degrees maximum today.
I believe, on Saturday, as I was driving to my mom's house in Katatura, Windhoek was about 35 degrees on Saturday.
Right.
It was hot.
Very
in
hot this weekend, yes.
Yeah, and I could see, I think the hotter it gets, you just see people just want to be out and about. Die mense wil kuier because we've been in lockdown for such a long time. So, and you say we have a maximum of what in Windhoek today?
In Windhoek, we have a maximum, let me just get back to
I
that,
think
of
30.
30. Yeah,
Yeah,
30
so
degrees.
it's a fairly...
Dead normal, nice Namibian weather.
Ja, toch. Net so, yeah.
Okay, looking at the coronavirus cases. We've got 129,009 registered cases thus far, recovered 125,206 with 3,563 deaths. Active cases in Namibia, this is the important one, 240. With no daily new cases and no deaths.
Dus is nog weer 200 van 400.
That
Yep.
is, that, guys, wow. That's such good news.
Very good news.
Yeah.
If you think about 10 days back, we were still standing at 700.
You know what's even more interesting about that? We should be posting the story soon, but the executive director in the Ministry of Health and Social Services has announced that possibly next week they're going to start vaccinating children from the ages of 12.
Right. Okay.
Sally, you can't fight.
Nee,
Why not?
nee.
Maar Meme Lydia was gefos om te gaan.
Sorry, nee. Kijk, for now. Kijk, it took a while to get me.
No, you didn't. It wasn't that long.
No, okay, it wasn't that long.
It really wasn't.
No, it wasn't that long. It's probably
You got
because...
vaccinated before me.
Yeah, true, but really, Maria, it was really because my mother and my grandmother went to go get vaccinated.
Yeah.
If they didn't go get vaccinated, I would have probably lingered on for a longer time. But
What happened to
That
you?
was
No
the
one
same case with
unvaccinated
me.
people at your house. No, die kinders het ook kans om te vaccinated te word.
Julle kan eers wag met hierdie vaksin vir kinders. I'm not down with this vaccine. We are not traveling out of the country. Nee? Los my kinders uit.
Oh.
Nee?
Mine will get vaccinated next year when they turn 12.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're too young this year, but
So
Well,
next year they'll definitely.
that's me. I'm out of here. Have yourself a fantastic day.
Alright.
Who's that? Whose phone is that?
No, nobody. How is it?
Yeah. Just some sporting news over the weekend. Obviously, the main focus that we normally have in terms of sport is the English Premier League. I'll just quickly give you the results over the weekend. Southampton won, Aston Villa nil. I believe that was on Friday night. Saturday, the 6th of November, Manchester United 0, Man City 2, Chelsea 1, Burnley 1, Crystal Palace 2, Wolves 0, Brentford 1, Norwich City 2, Brighton and Newcastle played out to a 1-1 draw. Everton and Tottenham played out to a 0-0 draw. Leeds and Leicester played out to a 1-1 draw yesterday. And then Arsenal beat Watford 1-0. That was also yesterday. And I would not say to all Liverpool supporters out there, you know, it's funny how your fortunes can change in a week's time. Okay? You bliksem the one team 5-0 the week before.
Which team?
And then you get clobbered by a team none other than West Ham United 3-2 in the Premier League yesterday. I think the standout performances or results over the weekend is definitely the fact that West Ham United beat Liverpool 3-2. I must say, and I think to all our viewers out there, you know how critical I am, and I've always been of Arsenal, my team. But they really looked like they've turned the corner. They're doing not too bad. They are in 5th position, while that other team is not in the top 5. Which would bring me to you, Mitch. I believe
Which other team?
I believe you are a diehard Manchester United supporter.
Thank you for another supporter in the. Ek is moeg vir julle. Sit.
Tyre aangaan, sê vir my. Ek luister.
Ek ken nie wat met my span aangaan hier regtig. Ek
Ons
ken.
span.
You
Ek
are
is van
losing.
Manchester United.
Me also.
You are losing week after week. Yeah. Arsenal have not lost in 10 games. Just for
I just
you
think
know.
die referees word omgekoop of iets.
Oh, nou is dit die referee se skuld.
Of ons spelers word omgekoop.
2-0 at home this week. 5-0 last week. Poor Ronaldo has to bail you out. Whether
Just
it's
to
in
get a
Europe.
draw for us.
This man should know you should never go back to an ex. Yeah, never go back to your ex. This is the result of a failed relationship. Wat het julle vir mekaar te sê, you Man United supporters? I'm listening, Tuva. Talk.
Samper 9 uur. We only-
No.
we're
We
losing
want,
time.
no, we're not losing time.
We have to be out of
Sport
studio
is
in-
part
No.
of news. It's
Guys.
part of news. It's part of news. Ek wil hoor.
Ons moet 'n family intervention hê.
What's the family intervention? To say what?
Al die manne wat met Ronaldo gespeel het toe hy in sy prime was,
Aha.
moet 'n intervention met Ronaldo maak en met hom sit en praat. Almal moet net aankom. Ronaldo asseblief. Hulle moet like ek het opbou sokker maar gekyk.
Ja.
Ek het nog hoop gehad toe Ronaldo teruggekom het. Ek is like no, is ek weer 'n menu.
Nee.
Van ek het bietjie getrek gehad. Maar toe Ronaldo terugkom, toe kom ek ook terug, maar niks werk nie.
It's a sad situation. I believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's probably just a matter of time before the chopping block. Whether he's going to be up for the chopping block, I think. Yeah.
Hulle sal hom fire.
Yeah, I think he's going to get fired. There's
Hulle sal hom fire.
no way that he's going to keep his job. But yeah, we hope things will go from bad to worse for United and all the other teams. So I'm speaking just obviously in favor of my team, which is Arsenal. Some great boxing also over the weekend.
Canelo Alvarez. Oh, Canelo is on his prime.
He's on his prime. at
He's
the
on his
moment.
prime.
Yeah.
He's in his prime.
In his prime. Sorry. Nobody can touch him.
At this moment.
At this moment, nobody can touch him. A few years back, like I said, Canelo was not a technical fighter. He was a fighter that wanted to hurt people with body shots and
Yeah.
knockouts. He was just chasing for knockouts. But after the Mayweather fight,
Yeah.
he went back to the canvas.
Yeah.
And nobody can touch him in his division, in the middleweight division right now. Nobody can touch Canelo.
Yeah. No, I think he unified the division completely
Yeah,
at the
completely.
moment. So it's really been good. I think he will, except for the one loss against Floyd Mayweather, I don't
Yeah.
think anybody stands a chance to beat him. So, but it was good that he basically unified the division over the weekend. So that was a good result.
I don't even think Mayweather will even try to fight him.
No, it's done. Mayweather has nothing to prove to anybody anymore.
I don't think he will fight him right now.
No, Mayweather is done. He beat everybody in the division. Finish and klaar. Lost net and far net. Some quick comments before we continue with the show. Ro Vieira, hopefully fire him before end of business day today. I am refreshing my football app as we speak. Okay, check his sound. Yeah, we've been checking sound. Neville is ook net 'n ander stoutkind in die klas. Wat het ek gemaak? I did nothing. Okay, there's not a lot of yeah.
You're on Informancy Live, not on Informancy News.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. Tuva, how was your weekend?
Oh, it's good.
Nee? Het jy jouself gedraai hierdie naweek? What fashion show did you go to this weekend?
We had runway shows on Friday, runway shows on Saturday, and then there was a private show on MTC launched an app. So they had a private show on Sunday. Yeah.
Nah?
Yeah, that was my weekend.
So what happens at these runway shows? It's just
Fashion on display, like it's runways.
Okay.
Namibian designers, South African. It depends whoever is there. They just show their clothes and designs. Yeah.
so where did this happen this weekend?
At
I give up.
Maromo. Maromo parking lot. That's where they've been for the past 3 years.
Aha.
To like a runway, that's all. And then, yeah.
Ne? It's nice. It's open air.
It's open air.
It's summer.
Yeah, the lighting is good. No, they do a proper setup. Yeah.
Fashion. And Namibian fashionistas. So do we really like see top class Namibian fashion designs that you can really identify as onze mense day?
You mean on the runway?
Yeah, on the runway. If you look at the outfits and stuff.
Yeah, like, I mean, up and coming, so always room for improvement. Saturday, we had Louis Munana showcasing his own slot.
I saw something.
Yeah, I think that show blew me away just because I think, it was very avant-garde. It's not just looks that you might want to wear every day, but it was runway looks, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, that would have been my top pick for sure. Louis Munana.
What is his line's name? I just
Zuriel.
Zuriel, yeah.
Yeah.
I've checked it out.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
So I was massively impressed with, and then there were other designers, of course, but I think for me the standout was definitely Zuriel. As for the fashionistas, interesting thing is like Friday, I don't think I felt overdressed on Friday. When I don't think
What
people,
is overdressed? Please.
like I always say, Fashion Week is the one time where you can wear perhaps things you would never wear because it's your one opportunity. I'm not a singer, I'm not a performer, so I'll never wear those outfits. So Fashion Week is the week that if I want my ass out, it's gonna be out. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Hey. So, and I try to raise to the occasion because I love dressing up. And I think Friday I just felt everybody was underdressed. They weren't bringing it like that, But on Saturday, I think the girlies redeemed themselves, the boys redeemed themselves. And yeah, there was a lot of like fashion on display. I loved it. Saturday was so amazing.
Yeah, so before we start with the main story of today, I just think we just need to send out a little alert to the public out there, okay? If you happen to find Royes somewhere, okay? Royes escaped from police custody. A yellow boer, nee?
A stick monster.
A groot mosterd.
Is weg.
Escaped from police custody.
What to say, Roy? Is that the surname?
That's his
Royes.
nickname.
That's
Royes. Yeah.
Yeah? Who is
Walter Mostert.
Wie is hy?
Let me just quickly give you guys context. Police at the weekend launched a manhunt for trial awaiting former magistrate Walter Royes Mostert, who escaped from police custody on Friday afternoon following a court appearance. The 60-year-old reportedly vanished after having been dropped off at the Awas Hills Hospital in Awasplik on Friday. Mostert was being kept at the hospital where he has been receiving medical attention under police guard. The suspect has been in custody awaiting trial for fraud for allegedly assisting a South African family to obtain Namibian citizenship in exchange for money. I don't know what Royes did wrong. I believe
He was just helping out.
yeah, there are a lot of people who are, yeah.
Never kan jy net imagine hoe die hele story gebeur.
Yeah.
Like die manne kom daar en Roy staan daar en vra die sekreteit like, bra, die poliskaart nou, like, kan ek net gou bietjie gaan rook? Ek sal terug wees.
It's a white
Vertrou
man.
my.
It's a white man, you believe him.
Jy hoef die,
Hy gaan nie weghardloop nie.
ek sal
net
nergens
wappels
gaan nie.
wat
Ek is
weghardloop.
62.
Ja.
Ek sal terugkom, ek gaan rook net bietjie. Jy kan my ID vashou.
How long?
Jy kan my ID vashou.
How long was he in police custody?
I've been following this, I think it's probably for more than a year now. It could be a little bit less. When he was basically arrested for this fraud case or whatever. But apparently he allegedly has a long trail of these type of shenanigans.
No, of course.
Yeah. Of course, what?
Oh, my father.
What do you mean, of course?
I
what?
mean, no.
What?
Are you talking about the passport or the escaping?
No, not the escaping. Just talking about the Royes in general. Apparently, Royes is just a rogue judge.
Well, I'm saying if he's selling passports or whatever, what is he doing? What is he?
Yeah, this was
Side hustle.
This was a side hustle.
No, I'm saying a person that's doing that and then eventually got caught is because you've been doing it for so long.
Ja.
Die polisie sou klaar vir Royes in hierdie naweek gevang het. Is 'n boer, hulle is by Woerman. Gaan kyk vir Royes by Woerman. Eros Woerman gaan kry hom daar.
Hy's by die coffee shop.
Hy's by die coffee shop.
Oh.
Dat die polisie ken. Is Royes.
So guys, please, on a serious note, if you do spot Royes somewhere, okay, just call the nearest police station. Don't try and arrest this guy yourself. Hierdie boer is groot. Hy sê jou bliksem. Okay, so don't even.
Level
go
is
there.
the man is 62.
And there's no reward money.
Oh, I
Don't
need the
even
money
try.
clan.
Yeah.
Is that nie reward geld?
Yes, thank you. Onsali Pratni.
Yeah.
First, give us reward money before we tell you where's Royes. Yeah.
Hoekom as dit 'n swart mens is, as daar altyd reward man.
Oh yeah.
Maar as
Why?
dit 'n rooies is,
Yeah.
as daar nooit reward, like asof hy self daar gaan en gaan
Is
sê
dat
ja, ek het net 'n naweekie afgevat.
It's nonsense. I agree.
Geef vir ons reward geld asseblief.
Yeah. I agree, guys. We want reward money before we snitch on Royes. Which brings me to the next story. And Jelene, yeah, finally we found the truth. The truth came out. This thing that you two sit here in studio and accuse Swapo, the party of the people, of embezzling 77 million what? Nonsense. Yeah. Finally, we got the truth. That 77 million went into the Swapo coffers of Namibia. Yeah.
Only 6 million.
Here. Context. The state on Friday
Read the headline
revealed
first.
Swapo only received $6 million Namibian dollars of Fishcore money. Only. The state on Friday revealed that Swapo benefited to the tune of 6 million from the fish rod looting, with $49 million ending up in the personal pockets of the men charged in the case. Kuma. State prosecutors on Friday said that Swapo only received $6 million Namibian dollars of the 55 million Fishcore supposedly released in the name of the party's political campaigns under the guise of governmental objectives, with the rest ending up in the pockets of the men accused in the fish rod case. The money was paid from Fishcore into the account of law firms DHC Incorporated, co-owned by runaway lawyer Maren de Klerk. Net so nog 'n bietjie aan. Former Fishcore CEO Mike Ngipunye has maintained throughout his testimony last week that money meant for the 2017-2018 Swapo political campaigns was paid into the accounts of DHC and another law firm, Caesar Namanje Incorporated, with Swapo denying receiving any money, although the 2017 payments are believed to have been meant for the Harambe campaign slate rather than the party itself. The question on everybody's lips has been who the two law firms channeled the money to after it was paid to them from Fishcore.
Joe Swapo.
Moran already opened his books,
Yeah.
quote unquote,
Yes.
and showed a little bit of how he dispersed the funds.
Yeah.
That's where we know about the Ndilimanis and the service providers, transport companies, lodges.
Silas in the boek ook daar zo.
Zekerlijk. Je moet wel de mensen naar die
Yeah.
Congress toevat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where we know some of those details. The key element is the details in Sisa Namanje. What Sisa Namanje did, and you know he fought to have his books to remain closed. He won that, obviously claiming that there's a lot of sensitivity, and I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how he managed to get away with that, because
Apparently it's lawyer client privilege.
yes, but what they've said, the state has said
Confidentiality.
you can cover the information. We just want the information relating to what you did with the money that came into your account.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I just don't think iemand wordt cover, because
You are making serious
no,
allegations.
I'm not even saying it's the president. I know most people are thinking that, but I'm
Yeah.
not even talking about the president. I'm just saying, in what I'm trying to think, only in the land of the brave will you be accused of receiving misappropriated funds that you disperse, but you can still keep your books closed.
It's
Because it
Sisa
must not-
Namanje, bruh. It's not just any lawyer. It's
Yeah.
Sisa.
Yeah.
Namibia, so.
Sisa is the law society of Namibia. He makes it up. He even wrote our laws with the Boers years back. So you cannot say Kama only in the it's Sisa.
It's Sisa.
Mm.
Maybe just to add to that. So did Maren open his books or not?
Yes, in Maren's statement, he gave a breakdown of how he dispersed the money.
Okay.
That's where those details came in with the service providers and whatever.
Okay, so he was open with
Yeah, he was
with
open.
the information.
Yes.
Sisa is not. Is this what
Sisa,
Lisa-
we don't know, apart from that he got X amount of money and that what went to Vino and what went to Armas.
Armas.
Yeah.
Jemuni Amos and Nami
Yeah,
Sununi.
Armas, sorry.
Yeah.
Potato.
Besides those two, we don't really know
Yeah.
how else the money was
Dispersed, yeah.
We don't.
Yeah.
So it's anybody's guess. So for me, it's easy for Sopo to say, oh, come look at our books, there's nothing. But if we don't know, like now it was written, when the money was dispersed from Fishco, it was written as governmental objectives.
Yeah.
If you saw something in Sopo's book that says governmental objectives, you must not going to think, you know what I mean, there's anything onto it. So it's like, even when they say open their books, I think it's just a convenient lie, because how will we know? We first have to see where the money came from,
Yeah.
so that we match your books with Sisa's books.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
since Sisa's books are not there, you can't possibly know. If I receive money but we don't know that it came from you, you can look at all my transactions, you won't know
Yeah.
which transaction specifically to scrutinize. So I think for as long as Sisa's books are closed, Sopo can continue saying, we have not received money.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
but-
going to be like that, yeah.
But look, I agree with you when you say they are protecting somebody. I agree with you.
Clearly.
There is somebody that has benefited mostly from this money, or was like the person that was like delegating this story. So let's say like Swabo Sesmos, we only benefited 6 million.
Who
On
said
set
that,
ni
by the
gastel ni.
They didn't say that.
I'm just saying.
They're still saying they didn't get
They
anything.
did.
Yeah, they say they
The
did.
state is saying that. The
Yes.
state is proving it. So I'm just saying, Joe Party. Of the state say, kijk, Joe Party. Het niet van die hele 77 gekregen nie, of die of 44 wat ons van praat. Maar hij het 6 gekregen.
Jane,
Ik zeg maar net,
you made a serious allegation
against.
against what the judge was saying. Just share with us.
Ja, oh my god, man.
Yeah. What did the judge say? I want to hear this.
So this is what happened. Mike was explaining.
This was on Friday.
Yeah, on
Thursday.
Friday, how Swapo benefited, and Mike was like, yeah, this whole money was to the benefit of Swapo. So he was just like Swapo.
Yeah.
And then the judge said something that confused me. He was like, when we go to the break now, you can have a rib or a steak, and then you can talk about the taste, but don't talk about the rib.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
So what is he exactly trying to say? So you can't be mentioning the name of Swapo in court or what?
Basically, for me, that was it. But what he
No.
wanted to do is like you are explaining how the money came to Swapo.
No, that's not what was happening.
Okay.
guys. What was happening, and the judge had said it over and over. Mike will get asked, is the sky blue or red?
Uh-huh.
Right? And then he will say, sometimes when the sky is like this, then the birds fly. Oh, he wasn't answering the questions. He would give an explanation and incriminate himself in the process.
Uh-huh.
So the judge was just telling him, said, listen to the questions properly and answer the questions. The answer can be, I know, I don't know, I'm not aware. And if you want to give some form of explanation, you can do that. But you're not doing yourselves any favors by giving these explanations that are not asked for. Because everything you're saying in the courtroom is going to be used against you. And he was just going on. And that's why he even contradicted himself from saying Esau gave him all the instructions to, in like that was James, but
yeah.
I understood even though it was coming from James, that it was
From
instructions from
Esau.
Esau.
Yeah.
You can't say things like that. You have to be very clear about
must
what
be-
you're saying.
and have
Otherwise,
proof.
yes, these contradictions are going to cost you. So you should say, you know what, I got instructions from James. He'll tell me whatever. But my understanding, the reason I never question is I understood that the instruction was coming from the fisheries ministry. Or you can say James made it seem like the, or whatever. You know, I'm just saying, be clear. You can't. You can't do what he's doing.
I do understand what the judge was saying, man. I'm just saying, Mike was just explaining how
He was
the money got.
incriminating himself.
I understand, but again, Mike is a kind wat from 80 problem 8 verlaag. En zoals je klein kind wat
But
kom,
he's digging himself one.
Yeah, he's
which is cool.
No, as a judge, he's just
Let's
trying
just
to
have-
keep him like, look, you're not doing. He's looking out for the interest of whoever is on the
Yeah.
stand. He's saying, you're digging yourself into a hole.
Yeah,
You understand? He's obviously new in court. He's never done this. It's the first time he's been in the courtroom.
Don't talk about the
And it's like, don't. Just stick to what you're being asked. You are creating problems for yourself.
I do believe that
Ik denk dat is net fun.
yeah.
That Mike explain.
If if there is
Leave him.
entertainment, if he wants to incriminate himself,
Let him do it.
let him do it for the sake of entertainment. Dis sy story daai. Deshaun Michael says, ek sê los julle my boys uit. Daai ouens maak nou political party. Wag net. Okay, ons sal wag. Bradley Covey said something big is hidden there. Hey Bradley, gaan jy? Ja, los my bra uit. Ja, los vir almost uit. Caesar must open his books. What is he hiding? That is
That's
what
a lot,
Mohausi
Brett.
Boli
That's what
says.
we all wanna know.
Won't happen, guys.
I won't even be surprised if it comes out that it is more than the said 6 million. Caesar must just be audited. Julle sal alles daar kry. Guys, you know what? Because I follow American politics a lot. At the moment, Donald Trump is throwing all his legal power against the American government currently for the files not to be opened as to what has happened on January the 6th.
Yep.
Donald Trump knows as to the run-up of January the 6th. He knows what he was busy with because we know how much of a fraud this guy has been his whole life. He does not want anybody to see the books or any level of communication that was between him and his cronies before they tried to take over the Capitol on January the 6th. Me, soos wat ek hier so sit, you know what? I am a very open and transparent man. I can give my cell phone to my wife at any given time of the day or night. She has free reign to see what happens in my cell phone. So, Fisher, na manche, soos wat jy sê.
Jy sal nie weer gigs kry nie.
Hy is al nie kry nie. Hy speel nie
Ja.
so.
Okay, sorry, askies. Sorry, askies. Maria, dankie toch. Ja. So
Mitch can say it.
Yeah.
nie jy nie.
Can I ask a question?
what do you want to ask?
I want to ask, I haven't seen anything from the ACC. Are they not allowed to be involved in this?
ACC.
Okay, Shalako is asking.
Hulle sal mos in die criminal.
No, but this is a bail hearing.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is not trial.
This is not trial.
This is their bail hearing, so it's just going to be them, their lawyers, and the state arguing. Obviously their defense lawyers arguing why they should be granted bail, their lawyers, and the state arguing why they shouldn't. That's it. You don't call in necessarily other parties unless it can be done though in bail hearings. If something where they do call the ACC, they did it with Esau and with Fiti. I think they had an investigator giving some details.
Yeah.
So they can do it if the state deems it necessary to clarify on some issues, but we don't know. But generally, if things are straightforward, it's not necessary. So it's anybody's guess. They actually might call the, who knows? But this is not a trial. So
Yeah,
this is just
no,
this
makes
is just
sense.
a bail hearing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shalako was just asking on the side here, why is ACC not involved in this bail application hearing? So as Tuva was just explaining here, from a legal point of view, I mean, this is not a trial yet. This is basically just a bail
Bail hearing,
application. So, yeah. So,
Mary, I think
in
that's why
closing?
they also stopped when the lawyer said like they have a witness, and then the other lawyer objected and said like, is the witness actually gonna testify in this trial, or in this bail hearing, or at the trial? And then the lawyer said actually the witness is for the trial.
I
So
see.
that's why they dismissed that.
Yeah.
That question. Yeah.
Okay, obviously, it's
Legal stuff is like just
Yeah.
confusing, man.
We will be crossing out live shortly after our stream, where you can follow the trial for the rest of the day or how long.
The week, in fact,
Oh.
we will be covering the.
Ne?
We'll be live broadcasting from the High Courts every day this week until obviously the bail hearing is done. We'll cross over around 10 o'clock. That's when it should be in court. So you guys can just continue watching.
Seminet Khotuva. So Mike is the only one between the bail applicants who is making an oral case for his bail application.
Well,
Cross-examine.
No. We don't know if Saki and James are going to testify in their own bail hearing.
Okay.
Obviously, Mike took on that decision. I know there are lawyers that are saying it would be wise for Saki and James to take the stand in their trial because Mike has incriminated them.
Yeah.
And if
Come
they don't
defend yourself.
Yeah, if you don't take the stand in your bail hearing, it's Mike's version. That's the version that's going to remain.
Yeah.
So they would have to at least come on the stand and give their version or their testimony. The reason it can be tricky for them is the state will also be looking to get other information from them. And it's a catch-22. You really have to think long and hard whether it will be in your interest. They say a defense lawyer only puts their client on the stand to give a testimony if they think they cannot get them off without it. So it's anybody's guess what will happen. We'll see. The others two, we also don't know if they're going to take the stand, but Mike took the decision to take a stand.
His lawyer called him a witness. His lawyer actually called when he was asking for him to because he said he stood. I think the witness has stood for a long time. What I was like, witness? What? Is our guy a state witness or not?
No, it doesn't have to be. If you're taking a witness stand, it's when you. It's a witness stand.
Oh
so.
yeah. Is our guy alive?
Who?
Miriam, can you confirm Mike is alive?
He's alive.
Mike is not
today.
dying anytime
He's
soon.
alive.
Ek weet nie vir wat is julle bang.
Ek wil net weet.
He's not going anywhere.
He said too many swappers. Those who want too many swappers.
Guys, maybe just to add to talking about the bail application of the accused at the moment, Asthmatic Shangala. Phew, this headline, eh? Journalist also. Asthmatic Shangala gasping for release. Fishrot accused and former Justice Minister Saki Shangala has pleaded with the court to grant him bail because he has hypertension, asthma, and sleep apnea, for which he needs a continuous positive airway pressure machine. They call it a CPAP machine. The CPAP machine treats sleep apnea by delivering a stream of oxygen air into a patient's airways through a mask and a tube. Father of two Shangala and 5 of his co-accused in the Fishrot bribery scandal have been back in court since last week for a bail hearing in which he and James Hadwikalupi have opted to give testimony
That's a good one.
through written affidavits, unlike their co-accused Mike Ngipunya as oral testimony. According to Shangala, the correctional facility clinic is not well equipped and the ACC has been very hostile towards him, which has made it difficult for him to obtain permission to get access to the CPAP machine. These conditions are exacerbated by my being kept in custody for nearly 2 years now. Being granted bail will help me access medical services, conditions, and diet requisite for a body that is required to take medication daily. This is especially so as the trial is likely to be lengthy.
So
he
yeah,
said.
they're only giving their oral. They're not giving oral. Everything's gonna stay written. They're not gonna go understand.
They are not just giving what?
They're not giving oral statements.
Yeah.
That's not what you said.
Oral.
No, you said no, they're not giving oral.
Oral statement.
Marianne,
You guys need to get your head out of the
When you said
gutter.
that, when you said that and you talked about the CPAP machine, I was like, why do they need a pap smear machine? Like, why? And then he just went with the other, like, okay, why are we even here? Miriam.
Yeah, guys. Yeah.
Okay, actually, I know Saki is asthmatic.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's not a made-up story. He really is, and I also know that he has been seeing some doctors. This is obviously before his arrest. When I'm talking about 5 years ago, because of he snores crazy. Because of
Sleep apnea.
yeah, he snores like crazy apparently. So he had machines plugged to try and. I don't know if it's grounds. You can must not know unless it's your cellmates that are complaining. But
Yeah, sleep apnea.
I have a problem with this.
Mhm.
Where do these guys still have money to do this stuff? I think that machine has to be like expensive.
still has medical aid.
Ja,
Okay, so die man het nog geld.
die man het geld. Ons weet nie waar die geld is nie, but the money is there, allegedly. So, but as he says, you know what? I think the machinery that is used, in custody that he's using at the moment is not helping his condition very much at the moment. So that is, as a Namibian citizen who's not been convicted yet, he's got every right to be asking, in his bail application for whatever he's asking. So I'll try to keep my emotions out of whatever is being said here.
Yeah.
Because these guys are innocent until proven guilty.
Mary, you seem to be so. Hoe moet ik zeggen? Je weet baie van die law en dan weet je van dat ons.
Actually, don't know
You don't
about the
really-
law.
No, not really about the law, but what goes on in the.
No, I used to
system
do
and
court
so-
reporting, so I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so I can never be as well versed as a lawyer, but I do understand the basics of
Oh, yeah.
court proceedings.
Do you think a normal citizen could request for something like that and
Yes.
it would be done?
Anybody can make a request
Anybody
like
can make such a request.
But do you think it will be done?
that it would be successful.
Look,
Yeah, that it will be
at
successful.
the end of the day, I mean, in all fairness, whatever your feelings, and I've said this before, in all fairness, there is absolutely no reason to continue keeping those guys in prison while they're awaiting trial. Because number one, the state has concluded their investigations. So they can't interfere with state investigations. Number two, they have not been prosecuted yet. They've not been found guilty yet. So it looks like they're doing time, but they haven't necessarily, the state hasn't proven that they've done the crime, right? So they still have to go through the process of trial.
Yeah.
So I understood why they might have kept them in prison while they're doing investigations, because they're saying, okay, the fear is if they're out there, they will
They might
interfere.
interfere, yeah.
But the state has admitted that they have done the investigations.
And concluded it.
They've well, if you're done, is you've concluded your investigations. So the fact that those guys, they don't even have a trial date in sight, right? They have not. They don't have a trial date in sight. So to keep them in there is just punishment, but it goes against the constitution. This is what Mike's lawyer was saying. It can be. The court doesn't look at headlines to make decisions.
Yeah.
You understand? You can't go on an emotions of what does the public want, public emotions or whatever. The state has concluded the investigations. There's no trial date in sight. They have not been found. In Namibian constitution is you are innocent until you're proven guilty.
course.
Yeah.
So in that case, they should be allowed to get out of jail, and then when they go to trial, prove their innocence, or the state should prove that they're guilty. And once a verdict is made, and there's a judge, maybe they're found guilty, That's the verdict. And then a judgment would be guilty or not guilty. And then the verdict would be to sentence them. Okay, you're going to serve now 3 or 4 years. Then they can go back to jail if that's what it is. But it really is unfair if the investigations are done that you're still keeping people in jail without a trial date, because you're not supposed to be punishing them before.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're like giving them a loophole.
What
Like
loophole?
a loophole so they can escape from what I mean with giving them a loophole is like they're punishing them unfairly, and their lawyers can use that.
Yeah, I don't think the state is thinking
against the
that
state.
far. I don't think the state is being devious in how it's
And can the
dealing
lawyers
with-
use it against the state?
the lawyers can in mitigation when you go to trial. The lawyers can say our client has already served 3 or 4 years pre-trial, and that will be used in mitigation.
Okay.
To lessen your sentence or whatever. So of course they can use it. The fact that they're still in jail, but I don't think necessarily that the state is thinking, oh wow, we're gonna keep you, then you're gonna use this in mitigation. Doesn't mean you're also gonna get out of jail card. It just means sometimes if you were supposed to get a 15 years and you've
Just
already
get a-
done, let's say 3 years, now they'll just reduce it to say 10 or 12.
Cool. Just a few comments before we move on to our next story. Cello, humble giant. Kan hulle nie vir hom net 'n asma pompie gee nie. Sebi Uyana Kapitako, yes, that is sleep apnea. Yeah, Ro, yeah,
What is
whatever.
sleep apnea? Actually explain it. What is it?
Yeah. I have a family member who suffers from sleep apnea. It means that your breathing stops in the middle of the night while you are sleeping. So you go like this. And
But they're
it could
louder
be
than that.
it could be for 30 seconds, it could be for a minute, but your breathing literally stops while you're asleep.
But they
And-
don't die from it, do they?
People die from sleep apnea. People die because you know what? With sleep apnea, when your breathing stops in the middle of the night, you can go into a seizure, a heart attack, or stroke without you knowing it. So sleep apnea is really
Yeah.
It's-
okay, that I know he's not making up. He really does have that.
I don't think he's really making
he
that
really
up.
has that.
Yeah.
Dus
So
hoe mensen sê mense dood in die slap.
yeah, precies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Bradley Kuvisep says, did you guys see how Verbosity was coaching Mike's lawyers just at the first break? Ons sal 'n bietjie kyk vandag. Ja, Rihanna, ek wil ook vra hoe wrote that headline Kama Asthmatic Shangala. Yeah, so
Op die headlines. Hoor.
yeah. But anyway,
Mike is fingering James. That's
Ne-
aan 'n headline gewees.
yeah. Our next topic. Yeah. We are fighting back against this gay couple who got this child. Yeah. My government will fight back. That ruling was nonsense. How can you give a child to gay people? The DNA was not proven that it is one of the children. To give you guys a little bit of context,
Whenever Neville does that, I always just imagine one of the Swapo comrades doing
yeah,
that.
we are tired. The Home Affairs Ministry has acknowledged that its approach in a citizenship's yes, Manda.
Hey,
Here, here moet
Sien nie
my
weer
jou
sien.
vandag
Sê-
elotse.
sien nie weer sien.
Citizenship by descent application for the 2-year-old son of a Namibian citizen was influenced by the parent's same-sex marriage status. In approaching the application by the respondent differently from other heterosexual persons, the minister gave expression to the non-recognition of gay stance in Namibia. The ministry's notice of appeal to the Supreme Court stated. On Friday, the ministry gave notice that it is appealing the 13th of October landmark
Sakal.
decision by High Court Judge Thomas Masuku. That judge. Yeah, that judge. We will deal
Thomas.
with you. Yeah, who granted citizenship by descent to 2-year-old Yona Delgado Lul, born via surrogacy in March 2019 to Namibian Philip Lul and his Mexican-born husband, Guillermo Delgado. The surrogacy agreement was greenlit by the South African courts and a valid South African birth certificate issued, identifying Lul and Delgado as Yona's parents. The ministry's appeal argued that we did not violate the family's right to non-discrimination because in the Namibian constitution, sexual orientation is not one of the listed of discrimination. It further said while South Africa recognizes parents in gay relationships, Namibian constitutionalism is different. It does not countenance homosexual or gay relationships. Yeah.
Let me just quickly read Shalago's comments. Says, the government really beefing with a 2-year-old.
Bruh. Yeah.
No, it's not the government. It's Swabo. It's Swabo. It's not the
Swabo-led
government. But for real,
it's a 2-year-old. Like the Ministry of Home Affairs is pissed off that a 2-year-old was given citizenship because his father is a Namibian.
The Ministry of Swabo Affairs, But for real, guys, just understand this. South Africa and Namibia, if they were like siblings. South Africa is die sibling wat begin weed rook en van quantum physics begin praat. Namibia is die ene wat nou bekeer is. So by ons, die, as jy quantum physics wil praat daar so by ons in Namibia, gee die kind terug.
Give the child back to the surrogate mother.
Yeah, give it back to the surrogate mother.
How they even say surrogate mother, you know? Like she's not a mother, she's just a surrogate, right? Give the child back or the child must go to Mexico.
You know what?
Guys, just...
let's get serious, man.
How much money do you think we spend on stuff like that?
Can I tell you quite literally what this is? This is what I call, this is a bruised ego.
Yeah,
this is a bruised ego. They went to court. The child was granted citizenship as he should. A child should not remain stateless.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He was granted citizenship because his father is Namibian.
Mm-hmm.
The kid grew up here. The kid is 2 now. He's been here since he was born in South Africa. This is what he knows as home. Fair and square, they gave the court found that the kid should be granted citizenship, and somewhere from there to now, the ministry, that bruised ego, like, did we really just lose to a gay couple? Het ons lose to that couple, to those people. And now they're taking to the Supreme Court, and we're going to foot that bill. That's the stuff that pisses me off.
It irks
How
us.
much money?
No, it's a lot. It's a lot, especially
So
if they're
ons sal
using
geld
peop-
mos op die
especially if they're
storie.
using people like Susana Manje.
You know what? On a serious note, it is in my opinion also, it is a bruised ego issue. I do think that, you know what, the Namibian government should have just let this thing go.
Yeah.
I think
It's fine,
at this
it's
moment
done.
it's done. The child and the arguments that they still use, they say that the ministry's appeal dismissed Judge Masuku's argument that a DNA test was not in the best interest of the child. Quite the contrary, the minister's stance is to bind them together on the footing that they are indeed so connected by asserting a genetic link. It argued further that denying Namibian citizenship to the boy would not impede the child's rights, as he would not be left stateless. If the child would not be left stateless, then why would you still want to continue with this case? For what?
Yeah. Look, Namibia is such a small population. What does it hurt you to give one more child citizenship? You know, you guys are constantly fighting here. No abortion, we don't have a population, let the children be born and whatever. And now here's a child that needs citizenship. And you have an issue with that. So do you care for children or not? I keep asking people, do you care for children or not? This is the most ridiculous thing, and it's actually pissing me off.
The organization,
Equal rights.
yeah, the equal rights organization says, added that the appeal shows an abuse of power
Yep, absolutely.
at the expense of taxpayers.
Yes.
To target the LGBTQ community
Yep.
and their families.
Yep.
Los die mense uit. Och, jerr.
If that money, I promise you, if they called a meeting today at Home Affairs and say, okay, ons wil Supreme Court toe gaan, ons nodig 'n lawyer, so here's a kitty box, kom ons sit almal geld hier binne, so that we can raise funds to pay for a lawyer to go to the Supreme Court. I promise you,
They won't.
this thing would be dead in the waters today. Because who's going to fund that? Say, I moet ek vir 'n lawyer, but like ons we're really suck. But of course, it's not going to hurt you if it's not coming out of your pocket. It's not going to hurt you if it's not coming out of your pocket. So,
Yeah.
okay, if we need to get 10 lawyers to fight this, that's what we will do.
Jagan Kasep says 9 out of 10 instances it has been shown that the most homophobic person usually is troubled by their own gay tendencies.
Are you saying Home Affairs is gay?
Eto klim
Home Affairs
uit die
is
closet
gay.
and see the rainbow. Cello Humble Giant says South Africa, Team Mitch. Shalaku's comment. Yeah. It really
but for
seems
real.
like the government is beefing with a 2-year-old. I think if this child would one day be a teenager or a
If this
working
child ever becomes somebody prosperous in life and is making waves, he's Namibian.
he's Namibian.
He's one of us.
Yeah, but
He's raising the Namibian flag high.
MTC will sponsor
And you
it.
forget that you didn't even want to give him citizenship.
Yeah,
But look,
I do
what
think
will our government do if they win the case and take back the citizenship? So how did it? So we won against the gay couple. Oh,
Row.
if they win, is it breaking rights? Is it breaking rights?
Now what? Is it really breaking rights for what?
Like, do they really want this case? Like, are they just like you said, Bruce ego? I'm just saying, like, what they appeal and they win and they take back the citizenship. So
And then what? You won.
Then what?
Was het lekker geweest?
Roy is just asking, was there a DNA test in this case, done in this case? No, there wasn't a DNA test done because the judge found that it was not necessary because the parent, the Namibian father, he is listed as a parent on
Yeah.
the birth certificate in South Africa. And the reason it was not required is also, essentially said, when in other cases have we ever done DNA tests to prove to grant citizenship in the case of descent? Nobody. Like I said, we gave an example of your Herero brothers and sisters that are in Canada or in the UK. When they bring their children here, they just have to say, here's a birth certificate, Ekasipa of Ekasima, and that's it. Nobody says, Ma Esheren Sahipa, who weet ons, you are really the father. Maybe a Canadian is the father. Nobody says that because as long as your details are on the birth certificate. your
Our
child gets
government
citizenship.
doesn't understand that a kid can come from two men. So they want DNA test to be done. Do the test. We want to know.
It is so disingenuous for us to go down that rabbit hole by really expecting one of these parents or both parents to be doing a DNA test to show that they or the one is such nonsense.
And in fact, let me tell you what happens a lot of times in what do you call when you give what is surrogacy, right?
Surrogacy, yeah.
So a lot of times in what happens, so you get obviously somebody's egg, right? And then you find like if it's a same-sex couple, sometimes they both give their sperm, and then they don't want to know
Mati?
whose sperm fertilized the egg.
Aha.
It's because you want that thing of it's our child.
It's our child and not as
So
mine.
yes, it's not genetically yours or mine. So you find queer couples, they both give sperm, and then whoever catches, and then obviously that implant, then the surrogate carries it. The surrogate is not the person, it's not their egg, so they're not even biologically the mother. They just carry the child to term. And some same-sex couples prefer not to know whose egg or whose sperm.
Yeah,
Like, just so that there's no sense of more ownership, quote unquote.
So you can not catch feelings.
Yes, you cannot catch feelings.
Maar Neville, je moet ook net
So you
verstaan,
could,
hè.
I don't know in this case what it is, but you could also find that perhaps they don't want to know
Yeah.
because they are both the parents of this child, so they don't necessarily want to know.
Neville, you just have to understand for our government, Neville. It's like jy gaan noord te doen. Dan kom jy met 'n ander mans mens en jy wil jou ouma gaan verduidelik. This is our kid. So die eerste ding van die ouma af is 2 mans mense kan nie 'n kind hê nie. En dis wat onze government doen, like hulle wil is nie julle is 'n kind nie. Julle twee het nie die kind nie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? And we are so over that explanation.
It's 2021 goed
It's
nou.
2021. Goed, you don't have to. I say again, you know what? Whether you agree with gay and lesbian rights or whatever, it's your story day. I respect, the decision and position of anybody and everybody out there. But let's not do this nonsense, at the expense of a child. Rose says, okay, cool. I am just asking in line with kidnapping and so on. Maybe we need to look at doing DNA tests for everyone entering with a child that was born outside of the country, if I am making sense, just for the child's safety, seeing that the world is really becoming a sick one. I hear you.
But there's birth certificates for that, you know what I mean? There's birth certificates for that. So even if you can't just kidnap a child and come to the border here, you would have to show a proof that this child, your name, or at least you have a letter from the parent that you can travel with the child. So, I mean, I think there on our borders in terms of flying and traveling with children, it's a very, very strict. I know because when I travel with my kids without their father, it's a thing. Or when he travels with them without me, it's a thing. And his name is on the birth certificate and my name is on the birth certificate, but just to get that consent letter from the other parent that says you can leave this jurisdiction with my children from this period to this period.
I remember a few years ago, we were traveling to South Africa. Ek, mevrou en die 2 kleintjies. But my son was like 14. Ayanda was like 10. It's like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, or whatever. So we got to the border, completely forgot to take the full birth certificates along. Toe moes ek nou eers daar WhatsApp home and email and what so that they can see. So we were held up at the border for at least an hour before we could proceed.
And let me ask, with your other son, when you travel with him, does he have to, when he was underage, did you have to get a letter from his mother?
No.
How
Huh?
did you go about
Yeah.
it?
No, we
you
did.
would- you
No,
would have
no,
to.
we did.
You'd have to.
We
Yeah,
did.
you would have
Yeah,
to.
no, we did.
So it's not as easy as I think.
No, we did. We had to. We had to. Yeah. But luckily, especially the 2 of them, they are of age now.
Yeah, now they can.
We don't need to
Yeah.
deal with anybody else. Moenie lag nie, Maria. Dis nie 'n grap nie.
Weer ding is 'n grap.
Ja, is nie 'n grap nie.
Come on,
Moenie
that
kom
other
lag.
child.
Ja.
Je wil net jou kind Suid-Afrika toe, maar die Zali ngani of die Tobi ngani. Maar gaan jy met my kind?
Ja.
No, as jy la blade, die pas en ook die kind, nie, die mas en ook die kind.
But why do people get to that point?
Ro, ek verstaan. Yes, you can ask all these questions. It's true what you are asking, but people pay to obtain birth certificates, Maria. Ask Walter. It's true. You know what? Early Maiden Yoma, the couple must just do the DNA and win this case. The kid really need to belong to a nation. Thank God the child is still small.
Nothing they don't want to do the DNA. That's why it went to court.
Cello, humble giant. Kom ons lees net gou
It's
comments.
not excuses.
When American celebs come get children here, they don't do DNA most. Why only now, Hookah? Balance me here.
Oh, there's adoption. Talk,
Okay.
guys, please.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, we need to cross over
Yeah, we need to go.
Yeah.
to the High Court. As we said, Tuva, just give us a little bit more information again as to
All
what
right,
will be happening.
It is day 4 of bail hearing involving the 6 out of the 10 accused men in the Fishrod saga, Fishrod case. Officially Fishko and Nemgomar case. Mike is still on the stand, so he will continue. I think he's being cross-examined, and will probably, like I said, get re-examined. And then the state will call the next witnesses. I think that Othniel and I don't know who the other one is. Guys, so sorry. This one's for me, are non-factors. They're probably gonna go next. And then Saki and James are probably going to go last. But it's anybody's guess what will come out of the High Court today. So yes, we'll live stream that. We'll live stream it for as long as it's happening. I foresee this thing going for over a week. I mean, if we're in day 4 for just one. But again, also oral...
Jy begin weer nee. Jy die manier nie Jenny.
Oral testimonies take longer.
Yes.
They take longer.
It takes longer.
Yeah, it takes longer.
Oh, okay.
And then the written, it takes longer than the... you know what I mean?
You just digging yourself.
Maria,
Anyway,
you need to be professional in the studio. Okay?
No, I mean, when a person gives oral testimony, it takes longer. It takes the court longer to get through it because it's a back and forth.
You have to say it that way.
Yeah.
Not when they give oral, it takes longer.
Yeah. We can have this discussion on Friday. Okay?
As a belief.
It's for Friday shows, okay, Maria?
It shouldn't take long
Yeah.
at all. You're doing something wrong.
Guys, thank you very much. That's our show for today. As we say, you can switch over. You can cross over or stay on the stream.
Is it
from 10 o'clock.
Informante News or Informante Live?
Informante News.
Oh,
Okay.
Informante News, yeah. Just let them know.
But guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Try and be productive. I know Mondays is the graveyard shift of the week. Maar kom ons try net, you know what? Earn your salary out there, okay?
That's what's up.
Moenie gat vat nie, asseblief. Check julle tomorrow.